Hi, I'm Hetal. I'm the Director of Global Delivery at Accelerant. Today, we'll explore what goes on behind the scenes on projects that lead to award wins, so to say. There is a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that go into getting a project to where it ends up being. And there is, of course, a lot of recognition from the customer. The award is like an external validation of, maybe what we are doing is right. And because mostly when you are running a project, you are so close to the project that everything feels nice because you practically own it for the customer as well, since they are heavily invested. To get external validation is always a good adrenaline rush, and a good validation of the effort that the team puts in. We were actually nominated for three projects, and all three are special in their own ways. So, we were nominated for Ironman, for AMA, American Medical Association, and for Union Coop. From Accelerant's perspective, all three are unique, even in terms of the brands that they represent. And our goal in the end is to make sure that we are making them look good. We are making their life easy. And for all these three brands, that definition of helping with their brand perception or making their end users feel good are different things. So, for example, if I take Ironman, endurance sport, very different ecosystem, a lot of athletics involved, lot of brands and sponsorships involved. It's an event based sort of a platform. Union Coop, again, supermarket, anything to do with retail has so much of nuance to it, so much of data to it. Like in retail, you are eating, breathing data and information all the time. American Medical Association, again, trade association, stands for the credibility of the trade. So again, a lot of inherent brand value is there with them. They stand for something. So I think all three have a different impact on the society, and as a result, we approached it differently, and all three had different use cases as well. So for example, Ironman trying to modernize their entire athlete experience, their entire digital real estate, while it's an endurance sport and it's all about being out there swimming and cycling and running in something that is so physical. How do you bring in the digital ease to the people participating? So it was mostly around that. We are actually enhancing a experience which is largely in the physical world through digital means. So that was the end goal of Ironman, the way that I see it. With Union Coop, it was more to do with, say, I am a marketeer at a supermarket, and how can I find the image that I want to pick for a product? How can I find it faster? How can I make sure that it is the right kind of image? It is getting approved. All my brand assets are in one place. Are they secure? Are they searchable? Are they relevant? So this was the sort of use case which is more to do with not directly impacting their end customer, but at least their internal stakeholders having that ease and efficiency in finding what they are looking for. AMA, American Medical Association, I think it was a bunch of things. It is event based as well. They have different assets. They have event based assets. They have initiative or cause based assets. How do they spread awareness about the myths associated with medicine? How do they raise awareness and these kind of things? So yeah, this was the problem statement that we sort of worked on with all these three brands. I think when you put it like the Accelerant way of doing things, I agree and I disagree, because there is no one template hard coded which is like this is the one size fits all Accelerant way of doing things. More than that, there is a core of delivery, and that core is customized according to the needs of the customer. So for example, the first aspect would be at least figure out what the customer cares about the most. And I'm not talking about which technology platform or what kind of designs. I'm talking about the human side of it, because there is AI and Claude and blah blah blah, but then there are humans who are working together to get the project to where it goes, right? So for example, when I speak of Ironman, even during the pre-sales process, it was very evident that what they valued the most was transparency, and that is what they were struggling with. So their problem was not that go live is getting delayed. They understood that there are complexities on both sides, there are dependencies on both sides, and hence it is getting delayed. But the problem statement was, hey, it's always a surprise. And I remember hearing this from the customer on one of the pre-sales calls, that I don't want surprises. I understand that things go wrong, but If I tell you something, I want to know what you are doing with it. Where is it? Have you thought about it? Or have you just shoved it in some meeting note somewhere and it's like out of sight, out of mind? I remember having a call with Gina, a one-to-one call. This is like opportunity stage, not even, they had not even confirmed that they would want to go ahead with us. Telling her that if tomorrow you start working with us, this is what it will feel like. So I tried to give her a simulation of how we will operate, bringing in the transparency of showing our process workflow, showing how we document things from our real projects. I showed her that this is how we will operate and these are the examples and this is what we have done. So I think going back to the accelerant way of working, the core aspect is to first understand what has been the pain area for the customer and how should we address that. For Union Coop, since it was a massive transformation, more than, I don't know, 3-4 TB of data, attention to detail was very key. Like, you can't go back and say, you know what, you gave me that spreadsheet, but I don't know where it is, and can you give it back to me? I think I lost it. And that would frustrate them the most, because here they are trying to move from one system to the other, overhauling massive amounts of data. It's work for them as well. So I think that was one key thing, that we maintained our attention to detail. The team was very clear in terms of, hey, these are the assets that we require them in this format, we require you to provide them by this date. Because I mean, you can't keep telling the customer, you know what, I will need this also. Go back and get this. Then you receive something and you say, no, now I think there are three other things that I need. So that was their pain area that we tried to first identify and then consciously work towards addressing that. And it may seem like these are not technology problems, but these are problems that actually define the success or failure of the project. So if, for example, I'm working on Union Coop and I am implementing the most sophisticated dam solution available, but I am implementing it in a way where I am making it frustrating for everyone involved, the sophisticated dam solution is not what is going to launch the solution on its own. It's a process of, hey, we need this data, this is how we need it, we've updated the data, can you go and check? Like in Union Coop, I think attention to detail not increasing their work more. They were already dealing with a transformation where the internal team, the marketing team, largely had to put in anyways humongous amount of effort. By not paying attention to detail, we would have just made it worse. For AMA, since it was a large, almost year long transformation with multiple work streams, two teams working in parallel, demonstrating that we are in control was probably the most important aspect. Because any customer in the initial stages would be doubtful that, hey, are you going to be able to juggle multiple things well, or are you going to get confused, hey, where is that? Or so I think I want to like give a shout out to like all three delivery teams and their leaders in this case, because and all three were long running projects. So to identify that pain area and to keep addressing that pain area, sprint after sprint, demo after demo, it takes a lot of effort from the delivery teams and the leaders to keep these problem areas as the focus and keep solving for it, while there are other technology problems, availability issues with teams, they're dealing with other complicated issues, but they still kept these core problems at the center. And I think that is the accelerant way of working. What is the core, not just the technology problem, but what is the larger challenge that the business is facing, and how can we continue addressing that problem in a consistent way? Everything else is parallel tracks. We have like very talented and intelligent team members who can figure out the other problems, to be honest. I think one coming from Acquia themselves, this is huge, because we've been proud partners of Acquia for a really long time, and we've hustled on projects with Acquia for a very long time. So it's just a demonstration of how much effort both us and Acquia have put into this journey as partners, because only then something like this would be possible, right? And they've been equally supportive. I think today accelerant delivery teams and Acquia partner teams lean in far more closely than they did ever before, and they lean in to jointly solve the customer problem. So the way that I see it, this coming from Acquia with the journey that we've had over so long is very, very special. Happening at Engage, again, very special, because you are getting recognition out of the other worthy and very inspirational partners or projects that we look up to as well, and who we probably aspired to be a few years ago. And to see Accelerant and to see the hard work that our teams have put in now get that validation from agencies and from Acquia themselves, is, I think, it means a lot to all of us. And the other aspect, of course, is the external validation. We all, obviously, we pat our backs at the end of the project and we say, wow, we did well, and amazing, and all of that. But someone else looking at it not from the attachment that they have to the project or to the customer, I think it's yeah, it feels amazing. Union Coop is definitely more special, and the win is even more special because Acquia Dam is something that we had been consciously investing as an Acquia partner to make sure that we are there to support Acquia and our end customers as far as the Acquia Dam solution is concerned. There was a lot of enablement that we received from Acquia themselves in terms of making sure that we are equipped with the right kind of skill sets to be able to deliver those projects. So investedness from both Acquia and Accelerant to making sure that Acquia Dam is something that we can run as implementation partners, that makes it special, the project and the win. The other aspect is also, I think it was our first win in the Middle East, in that region, which makes it even more special. And I think the other aspect, the last thing that I do want to call out is Accelerant has always in the past, because of legacy, like we've always positioned ourselves as a Drupal implementation partner. And with something like Union Coop and a win like Union Coop, I can see us spreading our wings from not just being a Drupal implementation partner to truly being somebody who can work in the MarTech space end to end, like not just the web side of it, but what powers it from the behind. So for example, like, it's a validation of us, of our attempt to be a full services digital agency and not just like a web implementation partner. And that is who we aspire to be, like somebody who's able to not just look at the web experience, but is able to look at the entire customer experience and the martech stack end to end, right from marketing strategy to research to design to then all the interfaces, the omni-channel interfaces that the customer works with. And it doesn't matter, it can be web, it can be mobile, or now it can be LLMs or chatbots, and what powers it from the behind, which is solutions like Dam, solutions like CDP. So I think it's a special win because it's sort of reinforcing that we have the ability to be the full services digital agency that we are aspiring to be.